Michael Bisping and Paul Felder both agree with Jack Della Maddalena. Islam Makhachev is just too small for welterweight. Now sure, most fans are still riding high on the Islam hype train. They think he'll jump up to 170 pounds and snatch that second title like it's no big deal. But Jack? He's not convinced. He actually sent a very clear warning to Islam. He said not only is Islam too small for the division, but that he's going to outwork him and give fans a performance they won't forget. Bisping and Felder backed this up by pointing at Islam's first fight with Volk. Islam might have had the size advantage on paper, but it didn't really help him in that fight. He didn't dominate. He didn't bully Volk around the cage. In fact, it was a super close decision, razor thin. And now, moving up to welterweight, Islam isn't going to have any size advantage. He'll be the smaller man. Jack Della Maddalena is a real welterweight. Thick, strong, and on an absolute rampage in the division. We haven't even had a face-off yet, but if you know Jack, you know he's sneaky big. And when he fights, he shows it. Let's not forget, Jack's win streak is insane right now. He's been walking through high-level opponents with cold pressure and pinpoint striking. Islam is elite, no doubt about it, but welterweight? That's a different beast. This isn't
Jack says that Islam's too small for him. What do you think about that? I think he's got a point. First fight with Islam, the first one, he gave him everything he could handle. Yeah. Jack Della Maddalena is not a small one, no, so I think.
And he brings all those same problems. Yeah, he brings all the takedown defense, the ability to scramble, and I think even better striking than anybody that Islam has really faced recently. Poirier had some moments, landed some good shots, and Jack has that and is a much bigger, stronger guy at 170 pounds. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight between Islam and Jack. And I think that's how Jack should feel. He should feel like, hey, you're coming up to my weight class. I know you were the great at 155. All that is fantastic. But now you're in the big boy leagues at 170 pounds.
Lightweight anymore. This is a new jungle, and Jack's not just showing up to test the waters, he's coming in to ruin Islam's dream of becoming a two-division champ. Whether you believe Islam wrestling will carry him through, or you think Jack's going to break him with size and pace, one thing's for sure, this fight would be violent, technical, and absolutely unmissable. On the latest episode of Good Guy, Bad Guy, Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen didn't hold back. They went straight at Jon Jones, comparing his recent behavior to none other than Conor McGregor. Like many of the classic wrestlers, they said, Jon seems like he's doing whatever it takes just to stay in the spotlight. DC hinted that Jon is slowly slipping into that strange space where it's no longer about fighting, it's all about attention. And honestly, Jon's recent moves have been a little embarrassing. First, he gives up the belt, and then a week later he's talking about coming back. Like, what's even happening? Chael also brought up something a lot of fans have noticed. The UFC still hasn't announced Tom Aspinall's next fight. There's been no news on his first title defense, and considering how active the heavyweight division has been lately, that silence, it's getting loud. People are starting to ask, what's the holdup? Then there's this wild rumor going around, Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall. Now it's not confirmed, but just the idea has fans.
Please don't become what Conor has become in the media. No, every time a big story breaks, Conor's like, I'm back, or I'm doing this. Don't do that. Don't try to make it about you when you voluntarily walked away from it. Conor didn't voluntarily walk away. Conor got hurt and he left. He just hasn't come back. Jones voluntarily said, I'm done. So now that he's done, don't try to make these stories about you whenever you're a guy that's supposed to have walked away from the game, right? Or am I wrong?
Oh no, you're completely right about that, and that's why it does feel like a little game of hide the ball, where we do have to start to question everything that Jon says. And Jon, for the most part, not for nothing, is a man of his word. I can't think of a time Jon said that he would do a fight and then backed out, even fights that he's second guessed. We understand that it's supposed to be Jon versus Tom. We would have thought from Jon being stripped and Tom being elevated that perhaps an announcement about Tom and what's next would have happened. All we've got is rumor and speculation.
Absolutely buzzing. Just think about it. Pereira, a knockout machine and a former two-division champ, possibly going for a belt in a third weight class. And on the other side, Tom Aspinall, one of the most explosive and athletic heavyweights we've seen in a long time. That fight would be nuts. But the big story right now is what's happening inside Jon Jones's gym. One of Jon's main sparring partners, a Russian heavyweight boxer named Leonid Grachev, just revealed that Jon kicked him out of his training camp, not just the camp, the entire team. Leonid has been a major part of John's boxing prep for years. He was right there during the training camps for both Stipe Miocic and Cyril Gane, but now their partnership is over. So, what happened? Well, Leonid gave an interview to a Russian media channel where he explained everything. It all started when he traveled to the UK to train with some of his old coaches. They sparred 3 times a week. Nothing unusual. Before leaving, he says he told John about the trip and John had no issue with it. But then one of Leonid's coaches suggested he head to Liverpool to train with Tom Aspinall. One of the coaches there was an old friend. Leonid agreed, but he made it very clear he was training with John and didn't want anyone thinking he was spying. He even called John before going. He asked if it was cool, and John, he said, "Okay, do whatever you want. No problem, let me know how it goes." So Leonid goes, he trains, he spars with Tom, no secrets shared, just honest professional work. But the very next day, John's striking coach Brandon Gibson calls him and he tells him John's upset, really upset. He doesn't want Leonid back at the gym. Leonid tried calling John, no answer. He texted him, still nothing. Later, he checks Instagram and John had unfollowed him. That's it, that's how it ended. Leonid said, "I guess it's over." Just like that, years of training and loyalty gone in a flash. Meanwhile, Shavkat Rakhmonov is demanding his shot at UFC gold. In a recent interview with UFC Media, he said he's not taking any other fights, he only wants the title, and he's willing to wait as long as it takes. He said, quote, "The situation is difficult. I'm waiting to see who will fight for the title. Maybe we go straight to the title fight next year. I'm waiting, want to waste my energy on other fights." And you can't blame him, the whole situation is a mess. Originally, Shavkat was supposed to fight Belal Muhammad for the undisputed welterweight title, but then Shavkat got injured. Jack Della Maddalena stepped in and fought Belal instead. That one switch flipped the entire welterweight division upside down. Now, Islam Makhachev is entering the picture. He's trying to shake things up and grab a shot at the 170-pound belt. If he does, there's a good chance the UFC books him against Kamaru Usman. That's a bigger name, a bigger legacy fight, way more attention than fighting Shavkat. So now Shavkat is just stuck. He's undefeated. Everyone knows he's elite. He's earned that title shot. But the timing's all wrong. The injuries, the hype around Islam, it's all pushing him further down the line. And let's be real, in today's UFC, hype matters more than rankings. Big names and big moments get you title shots. Quiet dominance doesn't always cut it. Shavkat wants that belt, he's got the skill, but in a chaotic, headline-driven division, he might need more than that. So what do you think? Where is the welterweight division headed? Will Shavkat finally get his shot? Will Islam really move up? Is John Jones going too far? And what's next for Tom Aspinall? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily MMA news.